in Edgewood called Destiny Wrestling, randomly enough. And I think Josh had mentioned that, that was like the rival company or whatever. Right. And so I ended up meeting Jonny K through Adam. I ended up meeting Jerry Garley, who was obviously an owner of Destiny early on in the conception of it. And then I ended up meeting Josh through him. And again, like I said, we just did a bunch of, sort of outlaw garbage shows once, we got our ring and, got better after we got trained, thank goodness. But, just kept doing that. And like I said, we made that big push to, be the actual wrestling company in New Mexico that it had lacked, since '83. So that was the main goal. And so that's what we did. And so that's sort of how we met up. And then obviously, we just ran shows a bunch, man, as often as we could through the Armory, which kept the New Mexico Athletic Commission off of our back because there is a federal mandate. You can't state regulate on federal land. Oh, wow. So that was really the only reason we were able to do it as long as we could. And we'd get booted out of the Armory for something dumb that somebody else did that had nothing to do with us. And, a couple months later, a sergeant would change over. I mean, you know how those things go. A different guy gets promoted. And we go back and hit that person up, and they're like, oh, yeah, we were wondering what happened to you or whatever, and we'd run again. I mean, it was a weird constant thing. Like, somebody would fuck up, we'd somehow get in trouble for it or something, and then a new sergeant would come in, and we'd run again. And so we did that for years, and obviously, it just it built up. We finally, after years and years and years, we finally got shut down by the State Athletic Commission because we were no longer able to run in the Armory. And you know about this because that would have been your last show. Yep. Would have been, I think, Day of Destiny, was that 8 or 9? Somewhere in there. I think it was 8. And I think that would have been your last show, and then we got shut down, and we were done for a good solid 2 years. We were running shows outside the state because we couldn't run here. And again, rehashing sort of what Josh had said, but we got together with MK. He, obviously had been working the shows prior to us getting shut down, and he really wanted to get up and going, and he had some of the stuff that we needed because to run in New Mexico is a travesty. Again, you're a New Jersey guy. I know Jersey doesn't have a commission, but Philly does, and I know you're aware of Philly's commission, and it's as bad as New Mexico. So you can totally understand how many shit regulations there are just to run a single show, but he had the ability to have some of the financial side, and we came back and then ran for a good 5 years, and they're probably the best years, that we had in Destiny, man. I mean, it was a rebranding, totally kind of new look. Not all new people, mind you, obviously a lot of the same guys, but a lot of new guys that we didn't have before, and we just ran with it and worked out really well, man. It was really good up and obviously until the very end. So really something I was very proud of for sure.
Yeah, well, I remember reading something that you guys had Eric Bischoff there.
Yeah, that is correct. We actually had Eric Bischoff for 2 shows. It was something super random, man. Like great crowd moment, right? Like I remember this vividly. It was a fantastic thing. Nobody knew he was there. Most of the workers didn't know he was there. There was probably like 6 of us that day out. I think in the parking lot or something, just chilling there. He came and. Right before, he's getting set to go out, he comes into the back, and, I mean, the boys are just like, holy shit, that's fucking Eric Bischoff, you know what I mean? And everybody's like shaking hands and like, oh, man, this is really cool, and super nice guy. And so he gets ready to go out, and, that music hits, that old NWO music hits, and everybody's just like, what the hell, you know what I mean? Like, I think they're thinking there's some mockery. Maybe we got Virgil, right? Like, Virgil's coming out, everybody's excited, or something like that, but it's just dead silence for this freaking NWO thing because people are just so shocked. They're like, what the hell? And he steps through the curtain, and there's literally like pin drop sound, like because nobody knows. And then just one fan goes, "Holy shit, that's Eric Bischoff!" And then the place just blows up, dude. Just huge reaction.
That's
like
awesome.
Everybody's flipping out. They're doing the big flare bow and the whole thing, dude. And it was a really like surreal moment. And there was a couple guys on that show that were huge WCW guys. So I'm glad that they got to, sort of experience that because, like, some people were WWE guys, or F, I guess, at the time. Some guys were WCW guys. And so, to get to see the guy that, made that was huge for some of these guys. That was really cool, man. So, yeah, that was, again, like I said, super proud of Destiny Wrestling and everything they did, and everything they did outside of the big names. But obviously, people are always interested in that. So some of the big names we obviously had Bubba Ray Dudley. He was our heavyweight champion. He wore our heavyweight championship belt, and he was Destiny Wrestling's heavyweight champion when he made his return at the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
So that was freaking huge. Like, we obviously, just as, guys who were in Destiny are marking out because, our heavyweight champions in the Royal Rumble. We had Jeff Jarrett before, everything kind of really, really collapsed for him. And then obviously it was great because, he got clean. Seems to be doing great, which is awesome. Tommy Dreamer, the Blue Meanie, Rob Conway, we've had a bunch of the girls who are now in NXT and WWE, which is awesome. Supposedly, and this is lower castle, so don't hold me to it.
Wait, you guys have Lufisto?
We did. 2 separate occasions. She's awesome, dude.
All right, man.
Awesome.
Real quick, man. Give me your insight on what happened with CZW. Like what you?
Okay. So
I think it was bullshit move.
My opinion on it.
Yes.
Okay, because again, I can't speak facts, but my opinion on it. She wrestled a bunch of shows for them. Then she wrestled for WSU, which is kind of like their all-female company or whatever. CZW, I think, was starting to hemorrhage money a bit, so they sold their old catalog. And when they sold their old catalog, obviously, once you have the rights to something, you can use it in any way you want. And so obviously the people that were marketing it as basically, pretty girls, rolling around the ring, touching each other, for the spank bang shit, when obviously it's so much like farther from the truth than that is. I mean, those are tough, talented, they are beautiful, but tough, talented women kicking the crap out of each other, a lot of times harder than the men, working a lot harder than the men a lot of times, and I think it just went backwards. And it's an unfortunate thing because I don't think CZW is directly at fault in the sense that I don't think they have any say over how this company uses the footage that they sold to them. But I can understand why Lufisto would be so hurt because she made her name, there. Like, she came up with all the Canadians who came from IWS from Canada, like Steen, Generico, Sexy Eddie, Excess, Kenny the Bastard, obviously Lufisto, and then Frankie the Mobster. They all came up through CZW, to make their names bigger in America, and then obviously a lot of them went off to major things. So I can understand why she is hurt, because that probably was like her American home, and now somebody who has been trying her whole career to bring women's wrestling to the forefront as a true competitive sport, not just a tits and ass kind of thing, all of a sudden is for a good bulk of what her CZW career would have been is being marketed as just that, hair pulling, tight outfits, spank bank material, when, that's nothing that she's about. So that's my opinion on what happened. I can't really hate on CZW because they sold that it's been sold away. People can use it any way they want. You see that all over the place. But it is unfortunate for her, especially since she is such a pioneer in women's wrestling.
Right. Is DJ still running that?
I'm sorry, say one more time?
Is DJ still running that?
No, well, he might be. He's kind of like behind the scenes, but I do actually believe Maven Bentley did put up some of the money because him and DJ were working together. But I'm guessing DJ was the guy that actually sold that. I don't know, and again, I'm not going to run anybody through the mud on stuff I don't know factually. But I think just trying to figure out how to keep the company running, I'm assuming he was probably responsible for that sale, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, on the other side of that, I know DJ. I went to the dojo over in South Jersey, and I got some real deep conversations with him for some weird ass reason. It just happened, and I don't see him doing something like that on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I don't think so either, man. Like I said, I mean, unfortunately, it's one of those things where you sell your rights. I mean, think about a band, right? Like you have an extreme, like underground, no sellout band ever, but they're on a record label, and then the record label decides to sell their song to, I don't know, like a car freaking ad or whatever, and it's something that the band itself would never want. They would never want that, but it doesn't matter because the record company sold it, and then the people are allowed to use it in any way that they want. You know what I mean? And it's an unfortunate circumstance because she is super cool. She is a hard hitter. She is a hell of a worker, not a woman's worker, a hell of a worker. Nice. And it's something that I can understand why she would have major frustration, because she's been battling that her whole career, but there you go, man. It's unfortunate.
She says in the YouTube, she pointed out in the YouTube video when she said, look, I've been trying to work hard to get women's wrestling taken seriously.
Yeah, and she has, man. Straight up. If you want to put, a group of people together that, like the Mount Rushmore of that, she's got to be on it. You know what I mean? She might not be the best worker. She might not be the prettiest worker, or whatever in that sense, although I think both those things still fall in line with her. But if you want to talk about somebody who's made women's wrestling legit and serious and should be taken seriously, she's got to be on it. Right.
I saw her match with Jordan Grace. I met Jordan Grace a long time ago in Texas. And Lufisto made her look so good. That's the best thing I can tell you. She made her look really good.
And I think Jordan has definitely stepped up her game. It's funny that you say Texas, because same thing. Jordan Grace and I'm going to butcher her name, and I apologize. It's Mikio. Anyways.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, on the outside chance that she hears this, I apologize. I fucked up your name. But legitimately, those two girls were the first female match that Destiny Wrestling ever hosted. It was in Texas. Yeah.
Yeah, they're out of Austin.
It was in Texas, but Jordan and her faced each other on a Texas show that Destiny did, and they go down, at least in the Destiny history books, as the first ever female match. So it's kind of cool to see Jordan Grace popping off, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. Dude, she was young when she started, too. Young. So
and I think she's just gotten better and better, brother. I mean, I've seen her stuff, but yeah, I mean, dude, if you're sitting under the learning tree of Lufisto, because I know they were tag team partners for a really long time. I mean, like that. What a better place than that? And I think Jordan is gonna be the modern day. Yeah, and obviously not killing Lufisto because she's still killing it, but she's gonna be the next generation. Let's say Lufisto. You know what I mean?
agree. I totally agree with you. All right, man. I gotta get back on track with these questions here. All right. What has been a match that you were in that's been your favorite so far?
So all-time favorite, I'm not sure. I had a couple. I had one when we were doing the 0-1 shows there in Arizona.